Let's take a look through today's papers with Ava Santina from Politics Joe and The Spectator's James Heal. Good morning, both. Good to have you back and good to see you, James. Only because I've seen Ava recently. It's not that I only wanted to welcome you to the show, James.
Fine. Let's have it out now.
Let's have it out right now, Ava. Oh, God, they go crazy. James, you're going to start with a story on The Telegraph. We've been talking about this already in the first hour. Princess of Wales's photo has all gone wrong, hasn't it?
Yes, and I mean, it says a lot when this is going to be the front page of The Telegraph, which is that talking about doctored photographs, which for The Telegraph is quite something. Really, it's just about, you know, the attempt to try to put to bed these conspiracy theories, talking about the debate about some of the Princess of Wales, and all it's done is really stir that up because, you know, you've got people like Reuters, the AP, Getty pulling these images. These are respected news agents, and if we can't take the royals at their word, what can we do?
Ava?
Well, I mean, it's really fueled a lot of online conspiracies, hasn't it, about where on earth is she? We haven't seen her for quite some time, and I think that, you know, people are confused. I think the one job that the palace has is to give the public a couple of photographs, a couple of nice pictures every now and again of the royal family, and they can't even do that for Mother's Day. I think that, you know, I actually think it's quite unfair. We pay for these people to sit in palaces, and, you know, people would like to know where she is.
Just be honest, right? Because I would totally accept it, that she's got a right to a private life. If she's been poorly, then so be it. But to put out a fake or doctored photograph to pretend like everything's all well in the palace, it only makes you think that something could be far worse than we've been told.
Of course, and it raises the question of credibility, which is the royals already get away with a lot. You know, the palace, frankly, you know, remember when the late Queen was dying and, you know, they were able to say one thing about her health status and turn out to be not far too optimistic. And I think, you know, unfortunately, if they keep making mistakes like this, people will ask questions about the way in which they're conducting their business.
Jeremy, can you imagine if Harry and Meghan had done this? If they'd put out a faked photograph when there was speculation over what was happening with Meghan? It would have been,
It's interesting, isn't it?
I
don't know what it. I mean, it fuels presumably everything that's. I mean, we read it earlier. I said it to you earlier, but I haven't read the conspiracy theorists. But it would absolutely fuel, I suspect. It's a massive own goal.
Well, the conspiracy theorists as well online have been mostly a joke. I think a lot of it has been, you know, in good humour.
Fuel it though, won't it?
Yeah, but it has fueled it. I think it's really, you know, it is confusing that she's on the front page of most newspapers today not wearing a wedding ring. I think that's totally bizarre. I do think that the public, you know, it's not really a story that bothers me particularly, but, you know, it does bother quite a lot of the country, large swathes of the country, and I do think that they deserve to have a bit of truth from the palace.
Absolutely, and what will it mean in the future, you know, when now will the public really be able to trust anything that's released from Kensington Palace? You're right there, Jez.
Sorry, I'm just looking at the photograph and see how wide our arms are. So the whole thing's really weird. I never thought when I saw it last night, but yeah, interesting.
So what they think some of the speculation was that it might have been taken by William on a camera phone, and then there's something with a Google lens. Basically, it will sort of combine all of the best shots together, and it will morph
Why would
together.
you release that, though? Why would you release that?
And it's not just the different faces. You can see there on... I'm sorry for anybody who can't see it on screen, but do we have an image where it's a little bit more zoomed in onto Charlotte's hand? Because basically, where her jumper is, just there on screen, can you see where the cuff is going around her hand? To the centre of the image there, it just completely disappears, which begs the question, why would you... I can understand you'd want to choose faces of the children all smiling, which we know can be a nightmare when you're having any kind of group photograph. But why would you Photoshop the child's hand?
Yeah, there's also
odd.
a mysterious bit on Kate's boot where there appears to be two separate entrances to the boot.
I apologise
the
second time in 2 minutes if you're listening on the radio. We're not doing... It's difficult, isn't it? But go and have a look in the newspaper because it's a very, very interesting picture.